Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's block is a variation of the broken courthouse steps. A lot of people commented saying it was also called potato chip block, which I had heard. It's just the paper I had said what it said, so that's what I went with. But this is a variation of it. You can see it here. It just has corners on folded corners on all the corners, so it would make like an X. So we're going to do that, but for this block you'll need 30 pieces. Mine's Scrappy. They're 2.5 by 4.5, and you need, I think it's 12 2.5 inch squares. So I've already sewn together my strips at the interest of saving time because so you're going to do 6 of each of these. You're going to do 6 with the black piece that'll fold out, or whatever color you choose, fold down to the right, and 6 where they'll fold down to the left. So to do that, we're just going to line this up. And now you could do this 2 ways. You could draw a line. I'm using black fabric, so I really don't want to do that one. You could draw a line and then just sew down the line. If you have diagonal seam tape, that works too. I personally am using this ruler. Now you could also just use a regular ruler. And if you line this up, if you line the 1/4 inch line up there on your points, it's the same thing. Absolutely the same thing. But I have this, so I'm going to use it. And I'm just going to line this up with my square, the black square, and I'm just going to slice that off. And now this one's going to go this way. So I want it to go this way, but I'm going to spin it around just so I can do it not awkwardly. And I'm just going to, same thing, line the square up there with the black one. The lines up with the black square. And I'm going to lay these to the side. I might sew them together later. I don't know. You're going to do this again to 6 of each of them. 6 going each way. So we're just going to go sew right down through. And then these are my middle pieces. Actually, you're also going to need your middle piece, which is a 4.5 inch square. So I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to use it to get these. I'm actually going to keep going through. I'm going to do this, then this one, and then this other side. And then I'm going to sew those 2 together so I can get it all done and we can come back over and lay it out. So let's go to the sewing machine. See if I can, there we go. Turn that a little bit. We're just going to sew these down through. Then it does line up with my seam guide, if I hold it correctly. Pull over my center square and my first block going down the side. Grab the next one. I've also had quite a few comments about where my needle placement is. I don't know if it's bad. I've sewn this like this for years. I broke many needles off. I used a different foot, and I kept forgetting to change it. So I decided I'm just doing this, and it's worked so far. So I'm just gonna continue with it because it does not bother me, and I haven't seemed to have a problem with it. I'm going to grab my, this is the bottom row. It goes in between those 2 that we just did. So let's head back over. We'll cut off these. I'll lay this over here. Now, we'll iron these open. And again, there's no seams on this block. Great about it. But so I'm just ironing everything to the darkest color. All right. So now I'm going to lay this back out the way I want it. And actually I'm going to lay my bigger mat because I'm done all my cutting. So I'll iron it on this and we'll already have it there. So this will go in the middle. That was the one that was already on my machine. These are going to go down here like this. This one here. Now we'll grab my top pieces. Go here and here. I'm going to overlap them just slightly. So I've already sewn them into rows. So I did the corners are going to be on each one, the ends of it, and it'll be 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Now your side pieces are not going to have the black corners because it goes under, or it'll line up with these. So that is 1, 2, and 3. And then on this side also. Just like that. And then my other one down here. And now these will need to be sewn together, the bottom row here. But I'm going to do that as I'm doing this just to get it off the machine. So now we just have to sew our second two, because this is our first 2 rows. So we'll sew our second 2 on. We'll fold this down. And I'm going to pin it. And again, even with the folded corners, there's no seams, which is fabulous. This is all the fabrics I've used through the years out of my tub of them over there. I'm going to go ahead and fold this one up, and we're going to pin it also. So I'm going to fold it around, or spin it around. We'll pin it. Let's iron that. Pin it there. Pin it there. Now I'm also going to, once I cut the other one off, I'm going to start sewing these. So I'll sew both of these and then I'll sew one of those. So let's go back over. And it doesn't matter which side we start with. Now let's cut that other one off. I'm going to iron it real quick. And actually, I'm going to do it now. So I'm just going to grab the piece that's going to sew to it. And we'll get it sewn to get this one off. Now we'll spin this around and sew down the other side. Grab that one and get it sewn up on the other side. And then all of our rows will be ready to add to this. Most of them were anyway. I just had to wait and show you how to do the corners. So now we're going to head back over and we're going to iron both of these open. I'm going to iron them to the middle. No real reason why, just because. Also, it's Scrappy, so while I tried to do it a little bit every color around, if I get it turned around, it's no big deal. So now we're just going to add our next row, or next 2 sides, which is these 2. So we'll just fold this over. I'm going to pin at the end and at the beginning. And I'll put one in the middle. Might be a little over, but that's the beauty of this block. You can just trim it. So then we'll fold that one over. In the middle and at the beginning. So let's head on over and we'll sew those up. These fabrics are from quite a few years ago, actually. Let me cut that off, and then I'm just going to spin it. I'm just going to pull it and spin it. It's wasteful a little on the fabric or the thread, but I promise it'll be all right. Let's cut her loose. Cut these before I get too far along. I'm going to go ahead and iron this one. This is my bottom row. Have it ready. And this one. And then we're going to just add the next row. Now the other one I did ended with that row, actually. I didn't add a next row on it. So these two would have been the last ones. But this one I for sure was not going to put in a quilt. So I went ahead and added another one. And I'll probably make it a pillow. Because why not? Pin this, and we'll fold this one up. And again, I like to pin it this way, so we're going to just spin it around. All right. We're going to go sew these two up. And then same as last time, I'm just going to spin it. I can cut this off now. Okay. Plus you have to make a few more rows on it, or at least the one more to get the pattern going. Or I don't know, it'd make a nice table topper. I say that a lot, but have a centerpiece right there in the black, on the black spot. Wouldn't that look pretty? So now we're just going to add our next two sides. It's really repetitive, so now I would have sewn these on camera, but this is a lot of sewing anyway, so you just sew your blocks into rows. It's really self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Feel free to ask. Lay it back out, fold this one over, we'll pin it. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it and just sew these up because you've seen me do it. And then I'll come back and we'll pin the others and same thing. Okay, let's iron these open. Well, and if I didn't mention it, this is a 16-inch block. But really, you could just keep going. Just make it as big as you want. Make it a tablecloth for all intents and purposes if you want. So now we just have to add our top and bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and pin it, and then I'll just sew it up real quick. And we'll show you the final product. But I do like to pin. These are pretty long pieces, so I'm going to pin at the beginning and the end. And I'll pull it tight there. Pin it in the middle. And one at each of these little, there's no seam, but I'm just going to pin it at these junctions anyway. And then we'll bring this one up and fold it over. And again, spin it around. Was going to do this with the same fabrics as the last one. The last broken courthouse steps or potato chip block, whatever you want to call it. But I decided let's make it scrappy. I do have a lot of these. Some of these fabrics are pretty old for me. And, well, you can come with me when I sew this one, whatever. Or you can fast forward through it if you didn't want to see it. I'm sorry. Lost a pin. No, it didn't. There it is. Alright, we're just going to spin this other one around. It's big enough now that I can just do it right like that. Now we will cut them apart. And line it up. I should have cut the pink edges off of that one. I don't like pink edges. I can't line it up right when there's pink edges. Alright, let's go iron her up and see how pretty it is. Alright. Be a nice seasonal one. I see all different seasonal fabrics in my future. Alright, there it is. I don't really have a name for it. We're just going to call it Broken Courthouse Steps / Potato Chip Block Variation. Or maybe with an X. I don't know. Give me a name if you know what it's called, or if, you know, you don't know, I guess. I don't know. Throw a name out there. I didn't invent it. I saw a picture of it, and I decided I was going to make it. I was going to show you. Although the picture I had was not this size. It was different size blocks. But really, you can make them any size you want. But there it is. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make the block and love it, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.